Had another rough conversation with the voices in your head. They said that love has shut the door on you, and you'd be better off instead. Girl, don't you listen. Your time is gonna come. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. Yeah. So when you gonna let somebody in? It's a classic situation where you don't know how to feel, so you go it alone. You turn off the phone when the struggle gets too real. Yeah. Girl, you better listen. It's time to make a change. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. So when you gonna let somebody in? Yeah, let 'em in. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. So when you gonna let somebody in? Let 'em in. Had another rough conversation with the voices in your head. They said that love has shut the door on you, and you'd be better off instead. Girl, don't you listen. Your time is gonna come. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. Yeah. So when you gonna let somebody in? It's a classic situation where you don't know how to feel, so you go it alone. You turn off the phone when the struggle gets too real. Yeah. Girl, you better listen. It's time to make a change. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. So when you gonna let somebody in? Yeah, let 'em in. You talk about lonely, you talk about scared. I think you're thinking that nobody cares. Well, you know it ain't over, but where to begin? You gotta play if you wanna win. So when you gonna let somebody
Good afternoon. Broadcasting from the B-Level Entertainment Studios. I'm your host, B-Level. This morning. I'm normally used to broadcasting at night, but this morning, I'm bringing you an edition of UTB Sports, where we're going to talk about sports. We're going to talk about a lot of national sports. Our main focus is going to be on high school sports. And speaking of that, I am looking for two co-hosts to head this UTB Sports podcast. If you want to get into podcasts, right, and you know sports, particularly high school sports, I am looking for you. I need two co-hosts, okay? I'm looking for a guy and a girl to come on to take the helm of UTB Sports. Now, I am doing it now, and I am okay, but I am not proficient. So I'm looking for somebody who's proficient in this sports arena, okay? So if you are interested in being the co-host of UTB Sports, send an email to utbpodcastlr@gmail.com. Again, utbpodcastlr@gmail.com, or hit up my inbox. Hit up the UTB Podcast Facebook inbox, or hit up Brian Stewart inbox page. I am looking for somebody that knows sports, because I know a little, but I don't know a lot. This morning, I wanted to come on and talk to you about what happened last night in the first game of the Final Four of the ladies' Final Four NCAA tournament against Coach Geno and Coach Don of South Carolina. Coach Geno coached UConn. It was fiasco on the sideline after the game. And I know that when you do sports, because I have been involved in sports for probably some 30 years. I've coached it. I have a daughter that plays high school sports. So I am still around sports and the competitive part of just competing. And sometimes when you get what I would call, and I always say this, built to ass, because, you know, last night, that's exactly what Coach Don put on Coach Geno, was built to ass. Now, they kind of controlled most of the second half. From the beginning of the first half of the game, I think halftime, UConn was up by 2. So it was pretty even for the first half of the South Carolina and UConn game. But after the second half is when it started to get out of the hand as it relates to just being competitive. I noticed that Don team was getting more in their mojo, and it looks to me from the naked eye that Don's team was more prepared than Coach Geno's team. Now, Coach Geno is a legend. Now, let's not take away from this man's resume. He's had so many, and I did not pull, which I should have. He's had so many Final Four championship appearances that I heard Don say in one of her post comments after the game in her press conference. She said that they have set the standards for girls basketball, and I agree. Couldn't agree with her even more. Coach Geno has won at a high level for a very long time. So I didn't understand the reason why they got into this big fiasco at the ending of the game when they went to meet half court to shake hands. Now, there's a bunch of things that we're going to talk about in this episode today. First of all, I would like for you guys to share this episode, share it. No, a lot of people are not up yet, but I always leave this episode up so when people go back, they will be able to look at it. Somebody's calling me. Let me put this on silent. But they will go back. So please share this video. I'll share it so that people can see it. Okay. Now, we're going to go through a lot of things. I'm going to play a lot of videos, give you a lot of content this morning. So in case you did not see the girls' Final Four game between South Carolina and UConn, you will be able to learn a lot here. Okay. The first video I'm going to play, it's going to be at the end of the game when the game was over with it. I think it had like 8/10 left on the clock. Normally, after the game is over, the team, the coaches meet and they all shake hands. Okay. Coach Geno decides to say something to Coach Dunn, and they get into this back and forth arguments. Referees, coaches has to get in between them. And here is the video of what happened. And then we'll come back and we'll talk about it.
Bound here. The officials will hold the players. Now Dawn and Geno getting into it a little bit on the sideline as Geno has to be held back. And Dawn and Geno, that's part of what makes this rivalry such a compelling one.
All right, so that's what happened at the end of the game when Coach Dunn went and Geno met at half court to shake. Obviously, Coach Geno was mad and upset about something. At the post conference, right there on the court, the ESPN analyst, I think her name is Abby somebody. She went up to Coach Dunn and asked her what was the exchange about. Okay, here is what Don said to the ESPN analyst right after that, the anchor person who interviews him after the game. Here's what she said.
On Staley right now.
Well, Coach, something happened there at the end of the game. What went wrong on the sideline right now?
I have no idea, but I'm gonna let you know this. I'm of integrity. So if I did something wrong to Geno, I had no idea what I did. I guess he thought I didn't shake his hand at the beginning of the game. I didn't know. I went down there pregame, shook everybody on his staff's hand. I don't know what he came with after the game, but hey, sometimes things get heated. We move on.
Now, I'm going to try to give you all of the comment before I give you my perspective on it, right? Because I want you guys to have a good sense of what happened, what's transpired. So initially, I'm giving you a lot of video up front. Okay, if you're just coming on late, we're talking about the Coach Dunn, Coach Geno situation. Please share. Please share the live and please comment. I'll read your comments and I'll answer your comments to the best of my ability. If you have a question, if you want to put your guess of what happened, put it in the comment box. I will read it. I'm going to be very interactive on UTB Sports. Okay. All right. So that was Dunn's post game right on the side of the court. Abby. I can't think of the young lady's name. Abby, somebody that works for USPN, but she grabbed him. This was her initial reaction. She also was able to catch up with Coach Geno. And Coach Geno seems to be all over the place. You're going to hear several things that Coach Geno is throwing out to try to grab hold of some reason why he was acting crazy and acting difficult and wanted to make a big spectrum on the sideline. This is what Abby Rose said to conversation with Coach Geno. Here it is.
Turn of events, Sarah Strong's jersey is split right down the middle. I saw you speaking to the refs about it. What message did you try to convey?
Right. There were 6 fouls called that quarter, all of them against us. And they've been beating the shit out of our guys down there the entire game. Now, I'm not making excuses because we haven't been able to make a shot. But this is ridiculous. Their coach rants and raves on the sideline and calls the referee some names you don't want to hear. And now we get 6-0 jersey, and they go, I didn't see it. Come on, man. This is for the national championship.
All right. So as you see, Coach Geno was talking about a couple of things. Geno was talking about that his player jersey got ripped. He was talking about the differences and the amount of calls that South Carolina was getting. He talked about that there were 6 foul calls and all of them went against UConn. He was also saying that Coach Dunn was working the refs and calling the refs names that he could not repeat. So he said 2 or 3 things of one of the reasons why he was fed up and he was frustrated. So I want to dive into one of the first things that him and Abby talked about, which he said that one of South Carolina's jerseys got ripped. Excuse me, one of UConn jerseys got ripped by a South Carolina player. All right. Later on in the night, of course, you know, there's cameras everywhere. Somebody came up with the fact that that was not true, that the UConn player actually ripped her own jersey. Here's this video. We'll come back and we'll talk about it.
On that final possession, as Strong hooked it up inaccurately, and then Sarah Strong actually rips the jersey herself. Now, we could not tell whether or not it was adored.
All right, so there you have it. That's settling one thing that Coach Geno has said, is that one of the South Carolina players actually ripped the jersey of a UConn player. Not true. There's the video that proves it. Another thing that he talked about was the discrepancies between the refs, the calls. And listen, let me just tell you, Geno, in all of my years of coaching and all of my years of watching sports, I don't think that there's ever going to be an opportunity where both teams and the fans are happy with the refs on both sides. Somebody's going to leave the game pissed off, thinking that they didn't get the fair calls. That happens. That's been going on a million years. It's never going to happen. Okay. You're never going to have both side of your fans, both coaches happy with all of the calls that the referee does, because the referees are human. They're going to miss some calls, right? They're going to get it wrong. They're not perfect. But that's the spirit of how the game is played, right? There is no instant replay to change, the overall whole game. You have to play the game, and you have to benefit, or you have the benefit, or you have, the game is going to be called the way it's going to be called, right? That's part of competing, right? That's part of the game. Getting the calls, going there and not getting the calls, or getting some calls. Normally they say the benefit is for the home team. Normally the home teams gets more of the calls because of the audience or on the referees. It's loud, but they were at a neutral site. Nobody was they were not at either one of their home courts. So the fact that you talk about the referees game, they didn't call it right. That's just how basketball goes. There's nothing you can do about that, Coach Geno. The last thing he said was that, which is not in here. Let me play his post-conference at the end. After the game was over, you guys know that they have to go to a post-conference. And of course, he was asked. Now, keep in mind, and this right there after the game, he talked about the calls. He talked about the jersey being ripped. He talked about Coach Dunn ripping the refs. That's three things that he said why he was frustrated. Here's the fourth thing that I'm going to play now, which was at the post-conference. They asked him about it. Here's what he said.
Dawn said post-game that the exchange had something to do with her not shaking your hand pre-game. Is that what you said to her post-game? And do you have any regrets about the way you handled that exchange with her and your communication about her to Holly Rowe in the fourth quarter?
I don't have any regrets about what I said to Holly Rowe. Why would I? Why would I? Unless you're on that sideline, you have no idea what's happening on that sideline. No, I mean, for 41 years I've been coaching, and I've been, 25 Final Fours. And the protocol is, before the game, you meet at half court. Anybody ever see that before? Two coaches meet at half court and they shake hands. Correct? You ever see it? They announce it on the loudspeaker. And I waited there for like 3 minutes.
You talked about the handshake. There's pictures of you guys and videos pre-game handshake. Was your frustration that it took a while for her to get over there? Or was this a separate instance pre-game versus the one that was on social media?
No, I think you missed the point of what I'm talking about. So I'd rather not go into it. Anybody that's been in the NCAA tournament, you know what I'm talking about.
All right, so He said in the post conference that Don did not come to shake his hand. He waited for 3 minutes to wait. He said that it is tradition that in 41 years and 25 Final Fours, it is tradition that the coaches meet at half court to shake hands. Now, again, fourth thing that he has thrown out. Somebody found this picture because over at UTB Sports, we're about telling the truth. Now, this picture is a combination of three things. Coach Don, all the way over to the left, right up here up top. This is the pregame handshake between Coach Geno and Coach Don. And down here, this is the post-game handshake when they were screaming at each other. So somebody dispel that deal of he did not. Okay, she did not shake his hand. Now, again, after he was called out on it, he said, "You misunderstanding what I'm saying. I'm not going to talk about it." Well, let me just tell you that. That's what people do when they don't have anything to talk about. If you accuse me of something and I tell you and show you that you are wrong, then some people will say, "Well, I don't want to talk about it." Yeah, of course you don't want to talk about it because you don't have any truth. I've dispelled what you've said, and that's truth. It's kind of like when your old lady is arguing with you, and then you prove her wrong, and then she say, "Well, I don't want to talk about it no more." All right, that's what your old ladies do. But that's a whole nother other episode. We're talking about UTB Sports now, B-level. Get it right. But that's what Coach Geno did. The reporter said, "We found some pictures of y'all shaking. Did she just not come over there fast enough?" He's trying to give Coach Geno an out. And Coach Geno double downs on it, and instead of saying, "Hey, listen, man," which let me give you B-level's take on it. It is not, I think Coach Geno was obviously mad that at some point in time, Don and Coach Don and the South Carolinas had control of the game, right? And I think he felt some type of way about Don not calling the dogs off. That's respectable. I mean, obviously, you can feel some type of way at some point in time when you have won the game and you have control of the game. Coaches' ethics is that they're supposed to pull the dogs off. If they're pressing and they're guarding you full court, at some point in time when you know the game is solidified and basically won, you are not supposed to embarrass the other team, embarrass the other player. Don kept them dogs out. Don kept them dogs out, and Don wanted to make sure that they won. She didn't want no hiccups. Sometimes you take your feet off the gas, and then you lose the winning, you lose the grip, you lose everything that's going on, because you take your feet off the gas. It's something to be said about sometimes when you're not in attack mode and as a team, and you're not running your offense, and you're not in attack and scoring mode. When you're trying to just run the time off the clock, you lose your mojo. And so Don obviously did not want to do that. So Don kept her feet on the gas. And listen, even though I said belt to ass, I always say that when somebody get whipped. Hell, I said we got belt to ass when we got beat by Joe T. I went on when Joe T. Robinson beat PA. I said that PA got belt to ass, and that's my daughter's team. And I think we only lost by 9 points. So that doesn't literally qualify as belt to ass, but I said belt to ass. So they only got beat. South Carolina only beat them by 14 points. It wasn't literally a belt to ass. It was a belt to ass, but it wasn't a real belt to ass. A real belt to ass is 20 points. But in B-Level's world, sometimes if you lose, it's belt to ass. So I think that Coach Geno was embarrassed. I think that Coach Geno was upset that his girls did not put out. I think it showed that South Carolina was way more prepared than UConn. It shows a lot of things. Coach Geno, you got out-coached. And that's okay. You live to coach another game. But as for the Final Four, Coach Dunn out-coached you. That's just what it is. Kim Johnson is saying, Brian Stewart, he was just mad he lost to Dunn, not because Dunn didn't call off the dogs. Okay, I hear that, Kim. But I'm trying to give a little perspective. You know, I don't want to, Kim, I don't want to just, I'm trying to give a little more perspective. Maybe he was mad that Dunn beat him. I've heard some video, and I didn't pull this video, but I heard where he had said back in the day that him and Dunn just didn't see eye to eye. He respects her coaching. I think Coach Geno was put on record saying that he respects Coach Geno, but Coach Geno was put on record saying that he respects Coach Dunn, but they just were different and they didn't see eye to eye. Which me, if somebody says, well, you know, I respect B-Level, I just don't see eye to eye, that means you don't really like B-Level. Like, you don't really fool with him. Like, you respect some of the things that B-Level do, but you don't really like him. So I can see, Kim, where you're saying that he just got mad because she beat him. Possibly so. Rhonda Nicole said he was upset because his streak was broke by a black female. Okay, Rhonda. I mean, obviously, some people are saying that there. I mean, us at UTB Sports, we don't want to say it was, he got beat because it was a girl. We gonna give y'all all of the stuff, and you guys can come up with your own saying. Kim is saying you being too easy on him. He was dead wrong. I haven't gotten to that part, Kim. He don't see eye to eye because she's a black woman that can coach her ass off. Now, Kim, listen. One thing is I ain't gonna be easy on him. I think it was low vibrational for him to get in an argument. I don't know what his reasoning for. I don't know if he was mad because a black woman beat him. I can't go as to, to say the race card. I'm not, because I don't know. And in order for me to say the race card, I really got to know for me. Now, y'all can say what y'all want to say. But if I say the race card, I'm going to know it is that. But I think he was very low vibrational for being mad. You showed up, you competed, you lost. So when you show up, you compete, and you lose, you are not supposed to make excuses on whatever you lost for. You are supposed to take your butt to the half court, and you are supposed to shake the coach's hand. Kim is saying, yes, Rhonda. Come on, Brian. So listen, I'm for real. Y'all can say that. I don't know it, so I'm not going to say it. And if I say it, I need to know it. I will say it was very piss poor for you not to make an argument. You came half court, you shook a hand, you said whatever slick stuff you wanted to say, and that's when Don went ballistic. Don said that you said something about you didn't shake my hand, and it is proven everything that you said was proven wrong. What is Kim? Kim is on my butt today. Let me see what Kim is saying. Kim said, same if I pull it, it's because you said wouldn't just say it like you wouldn't just say it. Kim, I don't understand that comment. Rewrite that comment so I can read it, Kim. Tino Harris from YouTube. Thank you for our YouTube response. It's a woman's sports. He should have lost. So listen, Coach Geno is a legend. Now, y'all can't take that away from him. Coach Geno has a great resume. He said that he is, in 41 years, he'd had 25 Final Four appearances. You can't have that many appearances and not be great at what you do. So we can't talk stuff about the man's resume. The man has done a great job. I believe that he was outcoached that game. I would believe that Coach Dunn had her team way more prepared than UConn, and they just got built to ass. And it is no excuse when you get built to ass. It is no excuse. Built to ass happens to every good team. All right, so you don't have any reason to be bad, Coach Geno, because you lost, because everybody at some point in time, if you are a competitor and you are a team, you're going to experience built to ass. And that's what happened. Let me make sure. Let me see. So the final score was 62-48. They only won by 14 points. That is not an embarrassing built to ass. That's a medium belt to ass. There's a regular belt to ass, a medium belt to ass, and an embarrassing belt to ass. 20-point loss, I would say, would be the embarrassing belt to ass. Now, in the past, when you get to this, the final four teams, you would expect it to be more of an even score, right? You would expect the margin of victory would only be somewhere between, 1 point and maybe 7 points. You would like for, if those teams are equally yoked and equally competitive, you would like for the margin of victory to not be 14 points, right? At some point in time, we all knew that UConn was not going to win. So you would like for that score to be a little bit more competitive. Yes. What is see what Rhonda's saying? His attitude was not great last night. He was not a good example for his team. I totally agree with that, Rhonda. Rhonda Nicole. He was not a great example for his team. He was not a great example for the girls that play for him. He was a sore loser. He was a crybaby last night. That's just what it is. He was not prepared. Dunn was better prepared. Dunn had her team ready. Dunn, the South Carolina, they came out there and they did their deal. So again, I'm not being light on Geno. I think that he was very piss poor. I believe that he was he looked really terrible. He looked like a crybaby last night because he got out-coached, because his team got outplayed. You have to come to the hardwood every time ready to play. That is no excuses. And you don't get to make excuses and make an argument at half court when somebody beats you. It's part of competing. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. Okay. We didn't hear much about the Texas and the UCLA game. UCLA beat Texas 51-44. So that sets up for a championship game in the girls division on tomorrow. And I think the game is at 2:30. It's going to be South Carolina and UCA. My YouTuber over there saying he was acting like a bitter woman. Let me hit the. He was acting like a bitter woman. Okay. All right. I accept that. I read your comments no matter how bad your comments are or how much we read all the comments on UTB. So I put it up there. Hey, I can't say the man was acting like a woman, but he definitely was acting like a crybaby. And I have lost respect for Geno, because you don't get to get your belt to ass and get to cry and get to make an argument. Say what it is. Say your team got outplayed. Say you guys were not prepared for whatever Dunn brought to you. She went in halftime. She made adjustments, and they came out and they played better second half ball. That's what you say in the post conference. You don't make excuses and say she didn't shake your hand and she was being hard on the refs. She was talking crap to the refs, and the players was tearing the jerseys. And at that point, you just reaching, you just grabbing, you just reaching for something, right? You're just reaching, and nothing is sticking because everything you're saying through video, they're proving it wrong. So just say that y'all got out there and y'all got belt to ass. Y'all lost. That's hey, all great teams lose. Y'all lost. Y'all were not the better team last night. Take your ass whooping and just be able to fight another day next year. You got next year. It's no reason to call this big spectacle on the sideline. Dunn had her team ready. The team deserved the respect because they played a good game. They had a good game plan and they won. And you see oftentimes these coaches getting mad and getting into fights, and that's terrible. That's not what the sport is supposed to be about. You are supposed to compete at your hardest, and at the end, you are supposed to meet at half court and say, today, your team was better than us. Today, you beat me. Today, you guys played a good game. Good game. Congratulations, coach. That's what the sport of basketball and any sport is supposed to be about. It is competitive, but you're supposed to have, take the good with the bad. Great sportsmanship. He had piss poor sportsmanship on the sideline last night. Terrible sportsmanship. And you cannot preach to your girls and be an example for them if you're going to have poor sportsmanship. That's exactly what happened. Now, getting back to the final game, which is tomorrow, 2:30, Sunday. UCLA will play South Carolina. Who do you guys think will win? We are going to come back at UTB Sports, and I think I'm trying to get it together. I don't think I let my whole crew off on Easter, which is Sunday. So I said that UTB, my Sunday podcast, was going to be off tomorrow, right? You will not see our UTB crew tomorrow. They are off for Easter. And so I said that I was going to be off, right? But somehow I'm a workaholic. That's what I do. I'm thinking that we might come back on Monday right before the men's championship. And when we talk about the men's now, we've got the men's Final Four is tonight. We've got Illinois versus UConn. UConn boys and girls made it to the Final Four. That game comes on tonight at 6 o'clock. And then after that, 8:45-ish, we have Michigan versus Arizona. So the men's Final Four is tonight. And then the men's championship game is Monday night at 8:30. So that's why I'm struggling with talking about the women's championship game on Monday night. Maybe I come on at 7. I hadn't figured it out in my mind. So y'all just stay tuned to my social media, which is Brian Stewart, or the UTB. Please go by and follow. I need you guys that are on here to go by and follow the Facebook page for UTB, okay? It's actually just search UTB Podcast and follow it, because I will put when we will be discussing the girls' championship game, and I'll try to have some people on here to help me discuss it. If you're interested in coming and being one of the guests, if you know basketball, if you love to talk basketball, I would love to have you as a guest on the platform, right? We might not agree, but I also love that as well, okay? Send me an inbox to my Brian Stewart Facebook page, or send me an inbox to the UTB podcast page, or send me an email. What's up, Mary? Mary, I know how to pronounce your name now. Mary with the eyes on here. He said he's big mad, beat by a black woman. He almost got his ass beat too. He didn't want that smoke. Listen, I'm gonna tell y'all the one thing that I love about the people that watch my podcast. The majority of them are women. And when I tell you these women, they don't spare Kim, Rhonda, Mary, they don't give you no break. They gonna call it what it is. They don't care if you mad or not, they are going to call it out. I love my supporters. I love the people that watch UTB Sports. I love the people that watch the Unpacking the Baggage podcast. I love the people that watch On the Level with B-Level, because they are going to tell the truth. They don't give a damn about making nobody mad, and I love them for it. I have to sometimes be fair. My opinion, I may think some things personal, but I have to have a reason for my opinion. And when I have opinion, I have to be able to explain why I think that. I can't get on this platform and make everything about race, right? Even though sometimes I believe that there are racial things that happen. I have to know it. Before I put that out there, I'm going to know it, okay? I have a responsibility, with this platform, to be fair. Sometimes I will get on here and go off the chain and be mad, but I try to be right when I put something out there like that. But hey, listen, if you guys want to believe that and think that, I can't stop y'all from believing it and thinking it, right? I can't stop you. I love the fact that y'all speak y'all mind. This is what this platform is built on, right? I don't want us all to think alike. I don't want us all to agree. I don't want us all. Hey, listen, on Sunday night, I've got 4 people that's on there with me. 1, 2, I have 3, 4 with Jayla. And oftentimes, all 4 of us disagree. But I love that about us. We don't all think alike. We don't all look alike. We don't all act alike. I love transparency. I love perspective. And that's the one thing that you get on this platform is perspective. I see you, Chris Boyle. Let me see what Rhonda is saying. Rhonda is saying, you have an amazing and enjoyable podcast. Thank you, Rhonda, I really, really try hard. Let me see what Chris Boyd is saying. He said, I love Geno, but I don't think it was racist. I don't either, Chris. I do think it was because she's a woman, though. Okay, Chris is saying that. He has the same sore loser mentality against other women coaches like Pat Summitt and Muff McGraw. He was 100% wrong. Okay, I hear you, Chris Boyd. Rhonda is saying, we gonna say it for you. Rhonda, listen, I truly believe that before I get on here and say something like that, I need to have more evidence, right? I mean, again, I think that I have a great responsibility on this platform to not make everything a race card. Sometimes I do believe that things are racist. I have said, publicly that I think some of the things that Donald Trump is a racist. I've said that. But in my heart, I've got evidence to back that up. Some of the things that he's done that was not kind to some of the blacks says that it breeds that he's a racist. So I will say that. But as we relate to Geno, I'm not going to get up here and pull the race card because it appears that he has some issue. I don't know for a fact. He has not done any racist things, so I'm not going to pull that. And again, I have a great responsibility with this platform to make sure that what I say I can back up, right? I am a professional. I try to handle this in a professional way, and that's not going to ever be something that I use lightly, okay? I don't want to persuade you guys. You guys follow me. You guys hear me, and I don't want to try to persuade you guys of something that I don't truly in my heart believe is right. So that's there you have it on that race card thing, okay? But listen, it is some great basketball this weekend that you should watch. Today, the final four teams. Go out and watch Illinois versus UConn at 6 o'clock. Go out and watch Michigan versus Arizona at 8:45. And then I am going to maybe I can get Chris Boyd back on here to talk, with me about the girls' championship, the ladies' championship, which is going to be Sunday. Okay, I said that I was going to be off on Sunday for Easter, but I am going to have a guest or so to come on and dive through, the girls' game and how that was. And then on Monday, the men's championships game is Monday, and I think it's at 8:30 Monday night. Okay, so I don't know. I want to come on with UTB Sports and do my opinion on both the girls and the guys game. I just don't know when. So please go to my Facebook page, UTB podcast, and follow that. Okay, I will put the information that when we decide what day we're going to come on, I will put it on those social media platforms. Let me see what Rhonda said. He made a rude comment before the end of the game. He knew what he was going to do. Rhonda Nicole is saying he made a rude comment before the end of the game. He knew what he was going to do. Well, I mean, Chris Boyd is saying that he's been very disrespectful to women coaches like Pat Summitt and Muffet McGraw in the past. So I mean, that's Chris Boyd's opinion. Obviously, he said it. But I mean, again, I just know that it was a sore loser. I don't know why. He looked like a loser for doing that. You lose gracefully. When you get built to ass and you get beat, you do it gracefully. There's no reason in sports for you to act that way. You did a piss poor job. The way you handle your defeat. And people are going to remember that. You got until next year for people that to be the last, thought of Coach Geno as you picking a fight with Coach Dunn because you got built to ass. Okay. That's not right. Okay. All right. Listen, I'm going to end this by saying I am looking for, again, I'm going to put this up here. If you love sports, if you love talking to sports, I am looking for 2 co-hosts to come on at UTB Sports. I don't know a lot about sports. I know a little. So I am looking for 2 co-hosts. I am looking for a guy and a girl to come on and do a weekly sports podcast. Okay. We're going to talk about some national stuff, like some college stuff. We're going to talk about some NBA. We're going to talk about some NFL, but the majority of our comments and our content will be on high school athlete. We're going to do a spotlight on high school sports, football, basketball for girls and boys. I don't know if we'll get into volleyball, but we're going to mainly concentrate on football and basketball. Okay. I don't know a lot about baseball, so I kind of stay away from stuff that I don't know about. Okay. All right. If you're interested in being one of the co-hosts, send a email to utbpodcastlr@gmail. Blah, blah, blah. utbpodcastlr@gmail.com. Okay. Let me say it again. utbpodcastlr@gmail.com, or just send me an inbox. Okay. You guys know my inbox, my social media handles, Brian Stewart on Facebook, or go to UTB Podcast on Facebook. And also go to our YouTube page. We have a lot of subscribers over there. Okay. Go and subscribe over on our YouTube page. All of our videos that we do for UTB Sports and UTB Podcast and On the Level with B-Level, they all live on our UTB Podcast YouTube page. Okay. Search for UTB Podcast, all one word, no space, UTB Podcast on YouTube, and you can see any of our episodes. We're on episode 168. And we're just on episode 2 for our sports page. Okay. All of these videos will live over on YouTube. Okay. All right. Listen, you guys enjoy your Saturday afternoon. Make sure you tune in for the guys' Final Four tonight. It starts at 6:00. And then make sure you tune in tomorrow for the championship, for the ladies' championship against UCLA and South Carolina. And I think it comes on tomorrow afternoon at 2:30. All right. You guys have a great day. And enjoy the sports, and keep listening to UTB Podcast. Have a great afternoon.
Had another rough conversation.